Nam Mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật Mahasangha. Following these headlines, Kamau Buddhist News brings you a series of meaningful activities taking place across the province in the joyful, just reflected days leading up to the Lunar New Year. Highlights include Yakhwa Pagoda's compassionate distribution of hundreds of spring gifts to people with disability and disadvantaged families, solemn Zen tea nights and annual community review held at local temples, and peaceful tea meditation sessions during advanced Vipassana retreats. We will also look at various A Day of Mindful Happiness retreats held at meditation halls and hermitages, where practitioners gather to cultivate mindfulness in the peace and ethical living. In addition, the program features youth-oriented retreats nurturing moral values and resilience, along with charitable love markets and zero-cost markets that continue to spread Buddhist compassion and social responsibility throughout the community. Now let us begin with our first story. Yakhwa Pagoda distributes 350 spring gifts to disabled residents. Zen tea nights and community review at Phomlai Pagoda. Tea meditation at night Vipassana retreats at Long Phước Pagoda. Compassion markets at Pháp Bảo Community Center spread compassion. Third anniversary and year-end review of Pink Lotus School retreats at Vĩnh Thái An Pagoda. Closing of A Day of Mindful Happiness retreats at Phước Hữu Recitation Hall. Closing of A Day of Mindful Happiness retreats at Pháp Tánh Hermitage. Yakhwa Pagoda delivers spring gifts to 30 temples in needy. Closing of A Day of Mindful Happiness retreats and 100 gifts at Quang Minh Community. Year-end A Day of Mindful Happiness retreats at Long Phước Pagoda. 15th Nurturing the Future retreats at Vạn Phước Pagoda. Our first report highlights a meaningful act of compassion carried out by Yakhwa Pagoda, where hundreds of spring gift packages were distributed to disabled and disadvantaged individuals from within and beyond Kamau province.
Yakhwa Pagoda in Châu Thới Commune distributed 350 spring gift packages to disabled individuals from within and beyond the province over January 23rd, 24th, 20th, and 26th, sharing burdens and bringing human warmth in the days leading to Tet. On January 23rd noon, 200 packages were 207,000 Vietnamese strong, each including 10 kg rice case and 150,000 Vietnamese strong cash. Total 61.4 million Vietnamese strong, with 41.4 million Vietnamese strong from the Chánh Đạo Lay Buddhist group, Ho Chi Minh City, and the rest from temple supporters. The following afternoon, January 24th, 150 more packages, insisting 350,000 Vietnamese strong each, with 10 kg rice, noodles, essentials, and 100,000 Vietnamese strong cash. Total 53 million Vietnamese strong, sponsored by the Bảy Mập Phú Xuân Group, An Giang. In the year's closing, Serenity distributes offer material aid and spiritual encouragement, easing hardship while spreading Buddhist compassion and sharing.
Next, we turn to Phomlai Pagoda, where the Sangha and lay Buddhists gather for a series Zen tea nights combined with an annual community review. In a tranquil atmosphere infused with mindfulness, participants reflected on a year of cultivation, sharing teas, a contemplative practice, and renewing their aspiration to live mindfully and harmoniously in the coming year.
On the evening of January the 24th, 2026, at Phomlai Pagoda, Ninh Thành Lợi Commune, Venerable Jumlan Abbot solemnly hosted a Zen tea night and annual community review, attended by fellow monastics and numerous lay Buddhists. In the main hall's tranquil, Dharma-infused space, Participants sat in meditation, abiding mindfully in breath awareness. A formal tea offering to the Buddhas followed, with the assembly savoring tea and treats in awakened harmony, treating each sip as a contemplative practice to reflect on the year's spiritual journey. The community secretary reported yearly activities and study outcomes, noting achievements and outlining future plans. Venerable Jumlan shared heartfelt aspiration for a stable, thriving community as a spiritual refuge, urging diligent practice, daily mindfulness, and dissemination of Buddhist loving-kindness and wisdom.
Continuing our bulletins is a report from Long Phước Pagoda, where tea meditation sessions took place during the 9th Level 2 Vipassana meditation retreat. Guided by Venerable Dharma instructor, practitioners deepened their mindfulness through each prayer step and mindful sips of tea, cultivating inner calm and awakened presence.
On the morning of January 25, 2026, at Long Phước Pagoda Vichakworth, a serene tea meditation unfolded during the night Level 2 Vipassana retreat. Venerable Đồng Tam, instructor at the Provincial Intermediate Buddhist School, guided practitioners in mindful, awakened meditation. In his talk, he reviewed core teachings from prior retreats, reinforcing practice foundation and the inward path. He encouraged diligent cultivation, pausing to illuminate the self-observing body and mind in each breath and step. Venerable Phổ Tam led sitting and working meditation, applying teachings to nurture presence. The session ended in contemplative peace, leaving profound impressions that foster everyday mindfulness and calm.
At Pháp Bảo Community Center, the Buddhist spirit of sharing words vividly is spread through the First Love Markets organized to support families facing hardship. The events brought together monastic, local authorities, and lay Buddhists in a heartfelt effort to ease difficulties and spread joy and compassion as spring approached.
On the afternoon of January 25, 2026, at Pháp Bảo Community, Long Dinh Commune, Pikani Liên Bảo Center representative held the inaugural Love Market to aid local needy families. Attendees included Mr. Lam Wang Minh, Thanh Trì Hamlet Deputy Secretary and Head, Ms. Hồ Thị Ngọc Hậu, Deputy Secretary and Front Committee Head of Thanh Trì Hamlet, and many lay Buddhists. The event distributed 100 packages, each with 10 kg rice, 20 essentials, and cash totaling 12 million Vietnamese dong overall, at 68.35 million Vietnamese dong funded by benefactors and lady. Pikuni Linh Bảo expressed gratitude on behalf of organizers and locals, wishing all a blessed, joyful new spring.
Our next story takes us to Vĩnh Thái An Pagoda, where the Pink Lotus School retreat celebrates its third anniversary alongside a year-end review. The program continues to nurture moral values, mindfulness, and compassion among young people, serving as a wholesome environment for character building and spiritual growth.
On the afternoon of January 25, 2026, at Vĩnh Thái An Pagoda, Vĩnh Hậu Commune, Bhikkhuni An Duyên, resident teacher, solemnly marking the third anniversary and year-end review of the Pink Lotus Scout Retreat, drawing many years. She recounted milestones from its wholesome origins, nurturing love seeks, guiding youth to the Triple Gem, steadily growing with volunteers as a moral anchor for character and ethical living. Attending monastic raised the youth seriousness, urging study, virtue cultivation, and societal contributions. Bhikkhuni An Duyên presented flowers and gifts in thanks to monastic volunteers and participants for 3 years of support. Earlier that morning, youth chanted sutra, study comparatively and journal memories, showing love and mindfulness for mindful roles.
Also, during the closing days of the year, Phước Hữu Buddha Recitation Hall solemnly held the year-end closing of each a day of mindful happiness retreat. With steady monthly practice over many years, the retreat remains a spiritual refuge, encouraging lay Buddhists to cultivate ethics, mindfulness, and compassionate service in daily life.
On the morning of January 30, 2026, at Phước Hậu Recitation Hall, Tân Thành Ward, Venerable Thiện Hữu Abbot solemnly hosted the retreat's year-end review, welcoming many lay Buddhists. Founded in 2010, it meets monthly on the 12th lunar day for wholesome study, Dhamma exploration, talks, chanting, recitation, and mindful working to nurture spiritual peace. Monastics commended the year's diligence, encouraging New Year's perseverance to build ethics, compassion, and service. Meaningful gifts motivated ongoing practice. The prior afternoon, January 29, the zero-cost market gave 100 packages worth 280,000 Vietnamese dong each, rice, noodles, essentials at 28 million Vietnamese dong from mobilized donors, warming the pre-spring spirit.
At Pháp Tánh Hermitage, the Sangha and lay Buddhists gather in harmony to close another cycle of a day of mindful happiness retreats. Through chanting, recitation, and mindful working, participants reaffirm their commitment to inner peace, diligent practice, and living in accordance with the Buddha's teachings.
On the morning of January 31st, 2026, at Pháp Tánh Hermitage, Vineyard World, Bhikkhuni Ngộ Đạo Abbot solemnly closed the retreat in serene harmony, drawing crowds of lay Buddhists. Under her guidance, participants focused on recitation, sutra chanting, and mindful working, calming body and mind for awakened, joyful daily living. She raised past diligence, wishing well-being, smooth Dharma work, and fearful aspirations, while presenting encouraging gifts to sustain Triple Gem.
Returning once again to Yakhwa Pagoda, the temple organized a large-scale spring gift-giving program offering support to monastic establishments and hundreds of disabled and impoverished individuals. The generous offering embodied the joyful spirit of Maitreya Spring and the Buddhist ideal of compassion shared widely and equally.
On the morning of February 1st, 2026, Yakhwa Pagoda, Châu Thới Kamin, led by Bhikkhuni Thích Nữ Nghiêm Thành, Abbess, distributed spring gifts, 30 packages to provincial monastic sites and 300 to disabled, blind, and impoverished recipients. She extended Maitreya spring wishes to abbots and residents, praying for accomplished Dhamma and thriving communities, each 6 million Vietnamese dong package. That day, 300 packages worth 600,000 Vietnamese dong, with rice, noodles, essentials, and 300,000 Vietnamese dong cash. Total 360 million Vietnamese dong from District 6, Lake Group, Ho Chi Minh City, spreading compassionate joy.
At Quang Minh Community, the year ends a day of mindful happiness retreats was solemnly reviewed, accompanied by the distribution of gifts to local residents in need. Over nearly a decade, this retreat has steadily planted seeds of mindfulness, ethical living, and inner joy within the local lay Buddhist community.
On the morning of February 1st, 2026, at Quang Minh Community, Định Thành Commune, Venerable Thiện Đạt, Manager, solemnly revealed the retreat and add 100 local needy with gifts. Launched in 2016, its decade has planted Dharma affinities, enabling lay access to teachings, body-mind refinement, avoidance of harm, and wholesome daily deeds. Under the Triple Gem, his guidance offers solemn chanting, recitation, and working to abate, shiver afflictions, and find inner joy. He distributed 100 packets worth 400,000 Vietnamese dong, rice, noodles, essentials, at 40 million Vietnamese dong from lay Buddhist Han Nhu and Nhân Tam Diệu Hữu group. Is in structure for a peaceful spring.
Also at Long Phước Pagoda, the year-end retreats welcome many practitioners to reflect deeply on the Dharma. Through a Dharma talk on the line of great enlightenment, the assembly were guided to recognize wisdom not as something external, but as awakened awareness, illuminating its moment of life.
On the morning of February 1st, 2026, Long Phước Pagoda, Vĩnh Trạch Ward, hosted the annual retreat, drawing crowds. Venerable Tuệ Nhật, Deputy Office of the VBS Central Lay Guidance Committee, spoke on Great Enlightenment Light. He described it as Buddha's consummate wisdom piercing ignorance, revealing suffering's nature and cessation path, not external, but awakening, illuminating body, mind, thoughts to discern delusion from truth. Ignited inwardly, it quiets greed, hatred, delusion with understanding, tolerance. Peace manifest in mindful breaths, wholesome acts, present awareness. He urged retreat diligence in mindfulness, precepts, compassion, self-illumined with Buddha's light, radiating love outward.
Closing our bulletin today is a joyful report from Vạn Phước Pagoda, where nearly 250 young people participated in the 15 Nurturing the Future retreats. Through Dharma talks, group activities, and mindful sharing, the retreats offer young participants guidance to face modern challenges with understanding, compassion, and responsible living.
On the morning of February 1st, 2026, at Vạn Phước Pagoda, Bhikkhuni Diệu Minh Arbes led the 15th retreat for nearly 250 years. Venerable Đồng Tam, Provincial School instructor, spoke on opening the mind for Thích, addressing modern youth pressure and crisis, stressing self-recognition, life's workings. His message true happiness, fear, compassion, wisdom, love, aspiring, idealistic, service to self, family, society, ethical living for mindful, peaceful role each spring. Youth enjoyed group games, discussion, performance, prayer writing, building unity, love, listening, respect for responsible daily lives.
Mahasangha, those were the highlights of Buddhist activities and compassionate outreach taking place across Khmer province in recent days. Through retreats, meditation, community gathering, and charitable programs, the events not only support those in need but also have nurtured mindfulness, loving kindness, and wisdom, core value of Buddhist practice, especially as we welcome a new spring with renewed hope. Thank you, Venerable Sangha and respected viewers, for your kind attention and continued support. May you be blessed with peace, good health, and joyful mindfulness in the light of the Triple Gem. We look forward to your company again in our next edition of Khmer Buddhist News. Namo Buddhaya.